Hi, I'm Mihai, and I am the current Vice President of Community and Events at the University of Sunderland. And I really enjoyed my time in office, so I'm going for it one more time. This time I'm changing to a position which I feel more strongly about. And my main points for campaigning are I want more student engagement, I want the student union to be more visible, and I also want to start a spotlighting scheme to reward volunteers every month.
Okay.
I apologize for my very, very deep, sexy voice, but it's because I've been talking a lot.
Hi, I'm Molly Lambert and I'm running for Wellbeing and Engagement. I've had a lot of involvement with RAG within the past 2 years, which has motivated me to run for this role. I also struggle with dyslexia, which is a big reason why I've gone for it. I just want to be able to help other students that struggle as well.
Hi, my name is Ibrahim Obinna. I've been a student of Sunderland for over 2 years now, and I've experienced students' problems. And I think it's time for change. So I decided to run for office in order to solve these problems.
Hi, my name is Beatrice Emoro Boyko Joderia. I'm a postgraduate student, MSc Public Health. I'm running for the Vice President, Wellbeing and Engagement. My main aim as a student, I've noticed that in Sunderland, University of Sunderland, so they don't really socialize. So I'm trying to put in more activities to enable sharing international students and home students socialize, come together, network, and make the environment meaningful for them. I'm also going to look into students' well-being. I will set up a committee to look into their well-being. I got some very funny informations earlier about students not being able to handle their well-being, and they had this information being set outside the school environment. So I want to liaise with students through the class rep to see how they can come and share their issues with us and see how we can solve their immediate problem. We're also going to look about mental health, normal stress. I'm going to look about international students, new students that are coming to school. Those of them that don't really want to stay into the university halls. I know all fingers are not actually equal, but I think the student union should form an emergency accommodation for those of them that are new into school, because some of them, when they come into school initially, they are usually stranded. So we can set a place for them to stay while they get settled and sort out themselves. I'm going to look into the cafeterias, see how we can make food and other snacks affordable for students on campus. Those are one of my points. Thank you.
Okay. Firstly, you've got what you set out to do in front of me, and a lot of it's over. I think Sunderland University is very unique because there's two very separate campuses. The St Peter's over here, over the bridge next to the river, and then the city campus, which is much more, in the city centre. And there's a bigger library, etc. And I think a lot of it is actually based over there. And I think St Peter's is there's a clear division. I was wondering what you'd be doing to, if you would consider, joining them together, obviously not physically, because that wouldn't work. But, what else you'd be doing over at St. Peter's?
I'd like to create, a team of volunteers that would like to work on this campus, because I do know that there's a lot of support, which is based at City, and students at St. Peter's don't feel that they get the attention that they need. So creating some volunteers that would, benefit from it, I'd like to bring that over here so that the support's at both campuses.
It's interesting you say that, because the Student Union does have a building here as well. The info point next to Reg Vardy building. And we try to do events in North Shore and try to fill North Shore out as much as we can. And for example, when I ran a campaign with regards to the general elections, upcoming general elections, we had ballot stations here as well, so students can express their opinion on what matters we should pressure the MPs on and stuff like that. So we are trying to involve both campuses as much as we can.
Personally, I'm an MBA student, so definitely this is my campus. Yes, we all feel ignored, and most times, first of all, you consider the fact that this library, for instance, is always closed at 12:59, 11:59, and we all have to go over there to study and all that. The only way to achieve this is just to listen to the students. If you don't listen to the students, you can't solve anything. We can't just act on our own instinct. Yes, you are saying that the students feel ignored. It's my belief also. But you need to listen to them because it is all about them. So for you to really do this, you need to listen to them. So it's all about creating a team of volunteers. Not only creating a team of volunteers and just sitting down in the office, but you have to come out yourself to listen to them. And that is what I intend to do. Listen to the students more often. Not just sending out a team of volunteers, but coming out myself to listen.
Okay.
Yeah, initially I talk about social activities. From the onset, it all begins from the onset. I got to notice that when the students coming to the school, so those new students coming into for the first time, they don't even know St. Peter's. Some don't even know Sunderland as a whole. So I thought of, from the onset, when new students come into, they should have a tour around Sunderland. Coming to St. Peter's, including the main campus, they should have a tour around the whole place. So that they don't even know where North Shore is. So don't know where Bonded Warehouse is in St. Peter's. They are not aware because they are not involved in activities. They are not involved in volunteering activities. So when I increase more social activities on both campus, students will be able to have a feel of both campus, both Sunderland, St. Peter's, and main campus. So it all boils down to social activities. The student needs to be involved. And sometimes information is power. Most students sometimes don't even get into, they don't even know there's a Connect site, Student Union Connect web page. So sometimes we need to go an extra mile, get involved with students by getting to their class rep, let them get informed that this is what is on ground. You need to get to the website, check the website. Sometimes we go an extra mile, informing the class rep, tell the students this is what is on ground. We have this particular activities on ground now. Please get informed, get involved, and see how you can get connected. So these are some of the things I'm going to put in place when I get into office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the issue of interacting with course reps. When you talk about interacting with course rep, most times the course rep does not really pass that message across. So why don't you look at it this way? Why don't you create something different that will bring everyone together? Why don't you create something different that will bring everyone together?
Do you not feel, though, looking at last year's, I know the election, especially for president, the percentage of people voted was actually only 9%. Now, obviously, you're talking, getting people together and getting more people involved. Still, if a percentage of people actually voting is only 9%, they're the people actually going out and, putting their voices heard. I still don't feel that people are particularly, are maybe not interested, but want to get involved.
I think they don't have the right
Ladies
information.
first.
They don't have the right information because from what I could see around here, most students are busy with their academic pursuits here. So because one thing is for you to get involved in social activities. How much students are involved in social clubs? How much students are involved in exercise? When you mix with your people, with your students around, you'll be able to get information apart from the normal schoolwork. How many people look at the notice board? How many people go on site to check what is on ground in most or other student investor or student land page, web page, or student union page? How many of them do this? So we have to find a way to diversify information to students in various ways and see how they can get informed. Because when they are informed, then they will have the willingness to get involved in activities. So when a student is not informed, some of them have this kind of carefree attitude towards issues. So we need to embrace them, get them involved into activities, including volunteering. Though we preach volunteering every day, but how many people come to volunteer? Because there are a lot of factors. So we need to make them understand why they need to get involved in these things.
Now, from what she said, I think the whole thing boils down to awareness. Everything, but the student union has not created enough awareness for this election. Because, first of all, when we are campaigning, the first thing we ask is, have you heard about the student union election? And we kind of get, no. Then, seriously, when you ask about 50% of the students and they give you the same information, then you know that there's a hole somewhere. that's where the student union it's not, they're not really doing because I believe the student union, they're meant to pass this information, and not just passing the information accordingly to all students, but also everywhere in Sunderland. This information should be everywhere. So
can I just bring the other two in, just please?
I agree with the fact that students aren't aware of what's going on, and once they are aware, they do want to get involved. But it's just the fact you need to get it out there. I mean, I've spoke to hundreds of students this week, and they don't understand what the elections are about. But once you just talk to them, let them know, then they understand how important it is, not just for the university, but for like every single student. Because at the end of the day, the Students' Union are for the students. And once we get everyone to know that, they'll understand. And I think it's just creating that awareness that's important.
I think with the point of how visible the elections are, I think the president tried really hard to make it more accessible this year, and also to make it a bit more visible. Last year there weren't so many posters around, there weren't so many emails sent around and stuff like that. And when it comes to the other point, sorry, I'm really tired, I can't really think straight. Well, sorry, what was the other point?
I want to say something. Respect to this particular election. On Monday, I had to go to London personally to see how it can. But surprisingly, London campus was not carried along. To be sincere, they were not. Most of them don't even know there was an election going on. Some of them don't even know what is student union. What is student union? You understand? I have to start all the preaching all over again. They were not informed there was an election going on. Though one or two candidates sent their posters across, but they were not informed. They were not aware. And the method of voting was not passed to the students, so it was really an issue, and a good number of them could not really vote. We have to send message down here that Solon campus students cannot really vote. Some of them their emails are not registered enough, so they have to start afresh to see how they could get voted. But it was throughout that Monday there was nothing done for University of Sunderland London campus with respect to this election. So it was actually an issue, because if the information was actually disseminated to that part of the campus, me going there as a candidate to carry out my own electoral campaign, it could have been much easier for me. But I found a different ball game out there when I got there. So it was not the information was not properly disseminated to that part of the campus. Even from the admin section. Gateway down. I went there, though they said they had information that an election was going on, but the electoral committee did not really put things in place for those students out there to really carry out and exercise their vote in respect to this election.
Going back to my second point about making students aware, with each induction we try to do as many presentations as we can where we describe everything going on campus, from volunteering to events to support that we offer. And then we also have initiated a new scheme this year called Goating, which is go out and talk. And each of us was responsible to go out and talk to as many students as we could. During this Goating thing, I talked to 200 students in 3 days. So we do try to make people aware. There's over 10,000 students here. We can only try so much. It's up to the students to get involved as well. I'm an international student. I came here 4 years ago. I didn't know anything about Sunderland, but I got involved and I looked around. And I agree that it should be more visible, and we're trying our best to do it. But it's up to the students if they want to increase their experience as well.
I'd like each one of you to ask a question for another candidate, please. Mainly, asking, it can be whatever you like, as long as it's about the election. So, Molly... Right, I'm so bad with names. Sorry, Molly. Can you ask a question for Beatrice, please?
Yeah. I have struggled throughout my life with dyslexia, and it was a big accomplishment for me to come to university. And I think the help is there, but students don't know about it or aren't able to reach out for it. What would you do to enable students to access more support and make sure that their well-being is?
Actually, I will try to make sure students are informed using all available means, because I believe when a student is informed, they'll be able to know how to reach out to solve their various issues. For instance, one of my manifesto, I said I'm going to set up a welfare committee, and the welfare committee will be in the student union. I know the school has their own welfare committee. which has to do with student well-being. So this welfare committee will come down to the students' level so that students will be able to come to us and share their problems with us so that we will know how to solve the problem. Yeah, that is one of the things I'm going to do.
Okay. Abraham, could you ask a question for Mihai, please?
How are you going to do?
It's all right. We can hear you fine.
It talks about improving the experience of the students. How do you intend achieving that?
Like I said before, the Students' Union has a lot of opportunities for students to enhance their experience and their time here. We have 4 words describing the Students' Union: live, play, grow, champion. Live is with regards to, you missing home, we have well-being support. You have problems with your studies, we have academic support. Anything we cannot help you with, we'll try to direct you in the right place. Grow is about the volunteering opportunities we have, which range from professional to just fun stuff like going to a I don't know how you call it, an animal shelter, and you walk the dogs there and you play with the kittens so they don't feel lonely. And then play is about the events we do. We do movie nights, which happen here in David Goldman Building, because we're talking about involvement with St. Peter's campus. We're having trips, we're having all kinds of socials. I know the problem is with spreading the word, but when we have something big people know about, like Diversity Month, where we engage with over 1,500 students in celebrating our differences. And finally, Champion, where you run in elections, and sadly this year the elections were a bit negative, but it is a positive experience. You get to meet a lot of people, you get to make a lot of friends. I want to make a shout out to the Vietnamese student who said that she's going to offer me accommodation when I go to Vietnam. So this is what elections should be about. And yeah, if I get elected, I'll just try to again be visible and make as many students as I can aware about what we do.
And Beatrice, a question to Abraham, please.
My question is, I got to discover that some students, in relation to a particular department, have visa issues. So in relation to visa issues, what will you, Abraham, do to see how you can help those students solve their visa issues?
Well, we're all aware that the visa issue is kind of political. It's not actually in the hands of the student. It's not actually in the hands of Student Union or the University of Sunderland. But the University of Sunderland has a part to play when it comes to the visa issue, because I'm aware that the University of Sunderland sends a cast letter to the UKBA for with a duration of school. The duration in which the student is meant to be in school. But that duration does not cover the graduation. So it's more like you are studying, you're not graduating, you just have to go. So what's the point of graduating? So what I'm going to do is to meet up with these people in charge of visas here, or the admissions, to ensure that they bring these things together. They put these things into consideration before giving out the cast letters, or before giving out the admission letter forms, before sending them to the authorities for the visas. So in order to check this, the student union has a strong part to play, and that is where I'll come in. Because without anybody saying anything, nothing will be done. Yes, I have gone severally to the student union regarding this matter as the president of the Nigerian Society, because this is one problem Africans face, because they'll have to come here, study, maybe they have a couple of months to graduation. They'll have to go back, the visa expires, they'll have to go back home, pay for their flight, go back home. You can imagine, pay for the flight about £500, go back home, reapply for the visa to come back here. Come on, cost. We have to put all that into consideration. So we will ensure that we'll take that part to tell the appropriate authorities that this thing is not right for these people. So we have to do something about it.
And finally, Mihai for Molly, please.
Could I please ask this question to everybody? Because like I said, the elections have been a bit negative. I want to ask each candidate, what was your happiest memory within these elections? And I'm going to say that mine was when I danced, when I had an Irish student teach me how to do Irish dance.
I think yesterday we were all dancing, singing, and just everyone was working together, having a nice day yesterday. The sun was shining, and it was just, the atmosphere was great. Everyone was real buzzing about the whole election, and it was just nice to be a part of it.
My happiest moment in this election was when I went to campaign in somewhere in Clany, and fortunately for me, unfortunately for me, I met Mihai.
Oh, no, fortunately.
Right. Unfortunately, actually. I met Mihai there. And it kind of made the whole thing fun. It's made campaign fun. That's how campaign is meant to be. But after that day, the whole election process took another turn. So it became so different. But this election is kind of an eye-opener for every other person out there, because you need to know what you're getting into actually.
Okay.
Well, I think being part of the election as a candidate is a thing of joy, because I've been able to talk to a good number of students. I've been able to see London campus even when I'm a student in University of Sunderland, and it has given me that joy of being part of the election.